kind of latching on to this idea, because obviously there are people like yourself and lots of others who really love the movie. However, I've got some of the statistics here for, Solo financially. So personal bias aside from my dislike of the movie, it flopped financially. It only earned $393 million at the box office worldwide, USD.
Did that even break even with how much it cost?
It did not. It lost money. So the budget was $275 million, but you have to factor in double for marketing costs.
Yeah.
So the movie needed to make at least 500 to break even. It did not. So I can't imagine a world where Lucasfilm and Disney are gonna jump onto this and say like, yeah, let's maybe release a Disney Plus series, which is kind of what people are talking about. We'll get into that. And I don't know why they would go with this project any further. I mean, they set up a sequel in Solo, obviously, if you're not familiar with the Darth Maul storyline and everything that a lot of people have been, watching the Clone Wars have loved over the years. And Darth Maul's return has been one of the greatest things I think Lucasfilm has done. They set up for it. And I think that personally, what I'm kind of seeing from this is people want more Darth Maul. I don't think really anybody's wants to see more Solo or more anybody really. I mean, I think Darth Maul was the biggest part of that movie that kind of, I personally felt it didn't fit. I mean, now we're talking the Clone Wars and his crime syndicate and everything. It's kind of seen a bit more. It's kind of linked a little bit more now. They've added the links, but I think Disney should know better than to do setups, because you can never set up a sequel to a movie you have no basis is going to be successful. Like that is, I think that's so frustrating nowadays to still be doing that. I mean, there's so many movies you can go back and look at that failed, but set up for a sequel, and the sequel never came. And I don't think that this was the right move for Disney. And then, my biased opinion on this is that it is a bad movie, but it could have been so good, because we went to Star Wars Celebration in London, and we were there when they were announcing the movie, and when we saw Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, the directors of the Lego Movie,
which was
and
awesome.
21 Jump Street, come out, talk about what their plans were. I'm getting chills literally talking about it, and I was so excited about those guys, man. We were hyped, right? Like those guys were.
What a great duo to do Han Solo.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, this is a good move, Disney. Good job. And classic Disney, they did not like what they were doing with their character, their legacy character, and they said, you know what, we're just gonna nix you guys. And they brought in Ron Howard to finish the movie. And this is the probably most frustrating thing for me is the next movie that Chris Miller and Phil Lord released. Do you know what it was, Jordan? I don't know if you do or not.
Was it the Batman Lego?
No? It was Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
So Chris Miller and Phil Lord, I don't think they've never actually made a bad movie. No. They've only made just iconic hits, man. Like the Lego Movie is fucking amazing. The Lego Movie is genuinely such a good movie. 21 Jump Street was fucking amazing. That was a huge thing. Like that.
People quote that movie all the time. It's one of those movies that people, if you say something from it, people will just know.
And of course, Into the Spider-Verse, arguably one of the best theatrical Spider-Man movies. People will argue that till the end of time. So, fuck, man. I'm just mostly bitter at Disney for letting those guys go, and no disrespect to Ron Howard, but come on, what were we doing? What was the plan? I don't get it.
I think because they let go of those two directors so late on in filming, that Ron Howard was kind of like a safe bet.
Exactly.
Like he makes good movies, and they know that what they are gonna get from him.
Yeah.
And they know he loves Star Wars because he was brought up with it. So I think the Ron Howard movie is a thing to kind of save the movie, even though it really didn't save it because it didn't do very well.
Yeah.
I think he still made a good individual movie that maybe if it wasn't like a Star Wars film, because people are so passionate about Star Wars and what you do with the characters, if it wasn't that, I think it would have been a better movie.
For sure.
Critically and in the box
critically,
office.
Financially, whatever you want to say. Yeah. I mean, personal bias on either side, partisanship aside, it could have been a better movie. I just, it is just the potential. That's the biggest thing. So, but let's move on to the possibility not the possibility of two, because let's just get this out of the way. Do you think that this will ever happen?
No, not a chance.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think there's no way in hell this happens. Nice idea, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't actually agree with that. Don't know why I said it, but
Yeah, like we got enough Solo. I think we saw how he got to where he is now, and like what more can you do?
talking about just the logistics of it. So let's just assume that the possibility of this was that there was a possibility to this movie happening. Like, let's just pretend for a second. Could this movie happen? Or sorry, or TV show, because that's what people are thinking now. We'll maybe do a
Yeah.
eight-part miniseries or whatever
Mhm.
with Solo. Bring back the cast or whatever. So Alden Ehrenreich is currently on a show called Brave New World on NBC. So he's not going to be free anytime soon. I don't think he'll come back and do it. I think he was pretty fortunate to come out of that movie mostly unscathed, because I think a lot of people were not excited about him playing Han Solo, and I think I think he did. I can admit I think he did a pretty good job comparatively to what I think was expected.
Yeah,
but he's
not the reason why I love the movie, because of how he did with the character.
Right.
Yes.
And then Donald Glover, who this is a pretty hard opinion for me to have, pretty hard stance, but I actually didn't think he was that good as Lando. I love Donald Glover, probably one of my favorite people working in any industry today. I mean, incredible musician, incredible comedian, writer, director, producer. Like, fucking the dude's amazing.
The visionary.
So he's amazing, dude. He's gonna be one of the most successful people of our generation for the next 30 years. I'm sure. I have no doubt.
So yeah.
So he's not gonna come back and do this.
No, he's been Lando. There's no reason for him to come back.
Yeah, I mean, he literally, to get him to come back and do the like, the only reason he came back and did a community reunion was because it was on fucking Zoom, and there's a pandemic. He wouldn't have done it otherwise. But my biggest thing is I don't know if I actually thought he was that good. I think Lando is such a crucial character in The Empire Strikes Back specifically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Billy D. Williams just had this swagger to him that I don't know if there was anyone who could have recreated it, really. I mean, one of the things I saw about Donald Glover in an interview with him talking about the role of Lando, he said he was asked, did you ever go talk to Billy D. Williams, ask him any tips for the role? He said, yeah, I went for lunch with Billy D. and I asked him, like, what's the best thing I can do for this role? And Billy D. Williams said, just be cool, man. Or baby. He might have said, just be cool, baby. And
sunglasses on.
Yeah. Oh, he never takes them off.
No,
are you
he's
kidding?
Lean back.
Yeah. And so Donald Glover took that advice and said, okay, be cool. How do I be cool? I gotta be Billy D. Williams to be cool. But Donald Glover's already the coolest fucking guy. Donald Glover's so goddamn cool. So I think Donald Glover was trying way too hard to be Billy D. Williams, and he wasn't being Donald Glover in the role. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he was trying to be Billy D. Williams in the role, and it didn't work because Donald Glover's not Billy D. Williams, because nobody's Billy D. Williams specifically. No. And technically. So,
well,
I think there was more there that could have worked with Donald Glover. But at the end of the day, he's not coming back, and I think that's pretty open as shit. I mean,
well, I think Donald Glover could have done maybe tried to not be so cool, and like as a younger Lando would have been more erratic and more like impulsive. Just a younger Lando. Like, what would a young Lando do? He wouldn't be like laid back. Everything's gonna be cool. I think it would be a bit more on edge.
And then another big one is Emilia Clarke, who probably could do it. She, as far as everyone knows, she's got nothing going on right now, so the possibility of her is pretty high. I think, like, very high likelihood she could do it.
Which is good because of the way that Solo ended. It's kind of, I feel like it's the Solo 2 would be more her story than Han's. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point. She was pretty heavy. Oh shit, are we unraveling the mystery here?
Can we just have a Qi'ra movie?
Yeah, because Qi'ra was probably one of the more interesting character in it. I mean, I felt like, we already know Han, and I feel like Qi'ra was a more interesting character, and then we'll talk about that more in a second. But the other big character who could potentially, who 100% would do it would be Ray Park. Would 100% do Darth Maul again.
Loves being Darth Maul.
If you follow Ray Park on Instagram, that man is Darth. Like he just wants to be Darth Maul. I think he would take any opportunity he could to be Darth Maul again.
I feel like the character was made after him or for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just seeing how he interacts with like fans at Celebration and stuff, and just how much he knows about the character and how much he like is and breathes the character. Yeah,
Totally. He just
for
embodies
him
it
to
now.
come back would be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think
with
he'd do it.
with the voice of
Sam
the name,
Witwer.
Sam Witwer.
100%.
Yes,
I completely agree with
those
that.
two together are Darth Maul.
Yeah, for sure. And I think so. This is the thing, though. Like, I mean, that'd be an I think that'd be an interesting way to go with it if they were gonna bring Solo 2 onto Disney Plus in either a miniseries or a show. I think possibly, yeah, just have Qi'ra be the, fuck Han, dude, get him out of here. I don't even care. Like, I think, I mean, Qi'ra was arguably more interesting, I guess, than Han. I mean, she didn't get maybe as much to work with screen time wise because it wasn't her movie, but she was pretty interesting, and the whole crime syndicate it'd be kind of cool to see how either how it came together or where it goes and where she ends up.
Yeah, I would like to see where she ends up, if anything. And I think having a Qi'ra show, like a short series, would be similar to what Marvel is doing with like Loki and WandaVision and all that. So it's not unheard of to do a show like that.
Yeah.
So I think, given how Solo responded in the box office and how the movie ended, I think Qi'ra show would be smart.
Yeah, I mean, even like Cassian Andor. I mean, they're doing the Cassian Andor show, which I think,
Is that still happening?
Yeah, it's still happening. But personally, I'm not really sure why they're doing it. But again, whatever. Yeah, I'll let it. I think Dave Filoni's attached to it, so fucking I'm gonna watch it regardless. But if Dave Filoni's attached, I got a lot more faith in it.
Yeah, I kind of like K2 better. But
we like what better? Sorry.
K2SO, but you
well, I think K2SO is going to be in it, so like that'll be,
You can't have him without Cassian.
That show will be better because of K2SO. If K2SO wasn't there, I don't think the show would be very good. And like, so you could do something like that, I guess, with Qi'ra, and I think might get more fans on board for that than on the Cassian train, because you've got Darth Maul involved in this story, right? So I think that would be more something. Actually, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Now I'm kind of getting turned around on this idea here. Darth Maul being involved in it, Qi'ra kind of being the main focus, because like I don't even really remember how Solo ended. I genuinely only saw it in theaters. I don't even own it. I probably won't I haven't watched it in literally years. I actually don't remember how it ended necessarily. Like, I don't remember how Qi'ra and Han ended.
Nick is not a real Star Wars fan.
Okay, are you typing that? Was that you typing that chat?
No.
No. I think, that could be kind of interesting. I'm not, but also at the same time, it's very conflicting, because I feel like the play for Darth Maul in Solo was very last minute. About how they filmed it in such a way that they did not have Qi'ra ever mention his name, so that they could insert whoever they wanted into that hologram, because they didn't know who they would use yet. Could have been Vader, could have been Maul, could have been the Emperor, or not the Emperor probably, but someone else of that maybe similar level. It could have been anybody like that. Could have been someone original. Who knows? It was such a last minute play, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I'm just not even sure if that's what Star Wars needs anymore. Like, I don't know if Darth Maul needs to. I just feel like Darth Maul really got redeemed throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars and Rebels. And is a live action Maul even? I think people just feel like they want it, but I don't think.
I think the action would be cool, but as far as there's not much character development that could go on with him, because we've already seen where he starts and where he ends. So as far as the action goes, would be amazing, given how they're handling action in Star Wars now, which is just the best it's ever been. But they would fill in the only gap of Darth Maul's story, that other than not even where he came from, because we know where he came from, that would be the only gap, is how he got involved in the crime syndicate and where he takes it,
and how it's dismantled as well, because obviously in Rebels he no longer is the leader of that syndicate. So that's actually more interesting, to be honest. I think the idea of Maul and Qi'ra taking center stage on it, because I again, like I really don't need any of the other characters, so I think Qi'ra probably would be the more interesting one, but over Han. But it's just really, for me, I guess it just lies on the fact that like Darth Maul never amounted to anything for years, and then finally got his due, and it was done so well, and I just feel like, why are we revisiting that? I don't think it needs any more, because Darth Maul was never really, he never had any character development in the Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
and then he got some.
Well, I just think I think in episode 1, having him killed off in the one movie was a wasted opportunity because that's such a cool character.
Oh, definitely a wasted opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
So much more that could have been done with it.
Make Qi'ra 1 happen. Hashtag
Qi'ra 1 happen. Yeah. Hashtag make Qi'ra 1 happen. Nice. I like you had that queued up.